On today's show,
Can the red-hot Indiana Pacers pull off a major first-round upset?
Harden, Kyrie, Steph, we'll debate who's got the league's best handles.
And heads up, lady, the meme team is coming your way.
It's Thursday, March 12th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters. Whether you're joining us live online, you're listening to the podcast, or you're catching us on NBA TV, we're very, very happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
Not to worry, that lady was fine.
To my right, Starters blog editor, Trey Kirby.
Ayo, ayo.
And finally, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
Lily, all right, fun show tonight. We got the meme team. We're also going to get into that debate about who does have the best handles crossover in the game. That'll be a fun one. But first, we're starting with a look at the Eastern Conference standings. A lot of the teams, especially at the bottom there, trying to get into the 7th and 8th spot. A lot of them playing last night. You had the Hornets losing Al Jefferson to an injury, and then later the game to the Kings. The Heat picked up a big win over the Nets. That putting them back into the 8th spot. They're a half a game over those Hornets. Celtics stayed in the race. 3-point win over the Grizzlies. And the Pistons, they're gone. You're gone. Get them off the board. They're 6 back now. They lost to the Warriors. A tough game, of course, for them. But we want to talk about a team that didn't play last night but has been red hot for a little while now, and that is the Indiana Pacers. And whether or not this team could have a legit shot at playing upset in the first round or even going further, some people thinking, just because they're starting to get these guys all back and rolling. And Paul George still to come, of course.
Yeah, I think they definitely do. We'll get to Paul George in a sec, but this team has gone to 2 straight Eastern Conference finals, so they have that playoff pedigree, all that experience in the locker room, and they've held it together the entire year, which is impressive. David West said it's basically because we've got vets, we don't have knuckleheads. Was he talking about Lance Stevenson being gone? Quite possibly. Either way, the last 3 weeks, they have been on fire.
Look at that.
And their entire team is just playing great basketball. I think it's simple as that.
I think, the 90% winning percentage is great since the All-Star break, but I think more importantly is this is not just the case of a team catching fire offensively by any stretch of the imagination. They're doing it on both sides of the basketball. 6th in offensive rating, 2nd defensively. So this is an all-around effort. Are the Pacers, are they quote-unquote for real, though?
Well, they play defense, and I mean, we're saying they do it on both sides of the ball. Rodney Stuckey has kind of been on fire. Who knows how long that'll last? But as long as they keep playing defense the way they do, they have 10 guys that are playing between 28 and 16 minutes. They just have a full team right now. Last year, it was kind of like they had the starters, and then you hoped the bench didn't give things up. It's almost the exact opposite. Also, last year, they started hot, were horrible after the All-Star break. This year, they're great after the All-Star break.
Right.
Maybe they're for real, at least for now, and at least in the Eastern Conference.
I think these jerseys have to come into play here, too. The FloJo jerseys.
They're 4-0.
Inspiring.
They're a nice look, and they can't lose in these.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the Pacers?
Well, Frank Vogel, I mean, he deserves a lot of credit because the Pacers' staple over the last couple of years has been defense, and it's been very hard to incorporate that when Paul George is obviously out and Lance Stevenson has been missing. So he had some new faces, and he tried to implement that, and they couldn't get it going. Now he's got a team that he's comfortable with. Players know their role, and that's what they've always relied on, and now that's why they're winning again.
Do the Pacers need Paul George to really have any chance at beating one of the higher seeds, of course, in the East in a first-round series? Do they need this guy, or could they do it without him?
I mean, they could upset a team that's not playing well, possibly a Raps without Paul George, but they need Paul George back to upset one of the good teams.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they got it together, but what they need Paul George to do is come back soon. It's not if Paul George is going to come back, but when he's going to come back, because he's coming back from a severe leg injury. And let's say he comes back, with 4 weeks left in the season. I think that's a decent amount of time to get his legs under him, to get enough reps to be good in the playoffs when it comes to playing a good team. But if he gets back with 2 weeks left, and unfortunately this date keeps getting pushed back further and further, then he's not going to be great enough to beat one of the best teams in the East. I mean, we're talking about the best teams in the East here. We're talking about a LeBron team or a Hawks team that's playing great basketball. You need Paul George out there. And like we mentioned, everybody on this roster is playing great right now. He would just fit in so perfectly. The team would go back to what it was last year without Lance, but with a Rodney Stuckey on that bench unit that Lance was sort of trying to fill in that role, they would be stacked with Paul George there. But Paul George playing well. Again, that was a severe leg injury. He needs lots of reps to be playing well.
And he had their highest usage rate last year. He hasn't played a single game with Rodney Stuckey or C.J. Miles, guys who play on the wing and who he would have to get used to. That's why I think you're right, Tass. They need him back as soon as he can, not just to get him in condition for the playoffs, but to get him used to playing with guys who he's never seen the court with.
But by no means does this organization want to rush back a guy,
no
a superstar that, of course, they're trying to build around.
Good sign is he's been practicing a lot, though.
Yeah,
and he's been practicing for a while.
Yeah, I think that when he does come come back, he'll probably come off the bench to start with, and he'd probably be on a minutes restriction as well, and maybe not even playing back-to-backs just to get comfortable playing the game again, because that injury was so horrific.
They did the same thing, of course, with George Hill. When he came back from injury, limited minutes. He was coming off the bench. He's, though, been unbelievable since he's been put back into the starting lineup. We would always have, it would be a recurring joke, I remember, in the starter's office. Every preseason, there would inevitably be a story about how George Hill was going to be a lot more aggressive this year.
Who's buying it this year?
Every year that story comes out, and we would laugh about it because nothing really changes. I will say, since he has been back and healthy and in the starting lineup, he's aggressive.
Yeah.
He is attacking a lot more. I think a part of it is, of course, no Paul George. They need someone to score because a lot of the times last year, he would bring it up, he'd start the offense, and he'd go to the weak side and just sort of hang out, and you wouldn't even get involved for a majority of the possessions. Now, especially early in the shot clock, you look at him, he'll try and take advantage of the defense not set, and he'll go. If they keep that George Hill and add a Paul George, I mean, how many Georges can you get out there? This is a dangerous team, though I still think it'd be tough to upset the Cavs in a 2-7 situation.
Yeah, sure. You can call it a 2-7, but this team, if they were healthy, they wouldn't be a 7 seed.
Sure.
They'd be far better than that. And Paul George, again, has to get a ton of reps. What's cool is, Adam Silver has talked about, and he mentioned in February about the 16 best teams getting in. What's cool is the Pacers wouldn't be in there if they were one of the 16 best teams, but we could get a Paul George, LeBron James rematch. I mean, that just makes the Eastern Conference playoffs that more juicy if we get the Pacers in there.
I only say it would be a 2-7 because that sort of looks like where we're headed here if the Pacers stay hot and the Cavs obviously stay playing the way they are. That said, Pacers are only 4.5 back from the Bucks. The Bucks haven't been playing good since the Brandon Knight trade. A lot of losses. Of course, the Pacers have been hot. 4.5 sounds like a lot with what? How many games we got left? About
15 to 20, depending on who you are.
Yeah, but they do play each other twice. So that's huge. I mean, you win both those games. They actually play each other tonight. You win both those games if you're the Pacers, you're suddenly 2.5 back and a lot more reasonable. And I think, really, that 6th seed is the one that everyone wants because you could be taking on the Raps who are struggling, the Wizards who are struggling, maybe even the Bulls. We don't know what they'll be like.
Right.
That 6th spot, a lot better than taking on LeBron James and the Cavs.
Anything.
In 2-7.
You obviously want to avoid LeBron as long as you can until if you get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But you're right. I mean, the Raptors are struggling, the Wizards, the Bulls, all those teams are dropping right now, and the Pacers are playing their best basketball. So it's not inconceivable to think that they could make up that large deficit of games and sneak into that 5th spot or 4th.
Yeah, I don't think the Cavs are even locked into that 2 spot quite yet.
No.
We'll see.
LeBron's going to go into relax mode. He wants to get some rest before the playoffs. So I don't think it's a guaranteed lock that he gets into that 2 seed.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. He's actually coming out and saying, remember that 2-week break I took and I rested and we went 1-7 when I was out and then we came back and went on a tear? I wouldn't mind doing that again is what he's telling reporters, right?
Yeah, I think this is something the league has got to address because it's sort of becoming common knowledge among fans. It's understood that, hey, players don't play every single game. When it's becoming this widespread that your best player in your game is talking about relaxing, even after taking 2 weeks off earlier this season. He told Cleveland.com, we'll see how we are toward the later stages. I'd love to get some more rest, especially going into the playoffs and knowing how important those games are and how physically taxing those games can be mentally as well. So we'll see what happens. When people are playing a lot of money to watch these games, how can they get amped each and every game when they know players are going to, not that they don't play hard when they're out there, but the fact that they know, for instance, the Spurs were fined a couple of years ago by David Stern for not putting out all their guys out there. And you know that players, hey, I just want to relax. I just want to take a game off here or there. It's a problem. It's something that the league has to address. It's not good for business.
But you wonder what he's talking about because he says the later stages, and LeBron has kind of always rested during the last week. Remember, the Cavs were going for the greatest record at the home, and he didn't really care. He just sat out and said, I want to be right for the playoffs, and I think that's fine. That being said, if he starts resting a lot during the next month and a half, that's a little different because they have been so good. The Cavs had since those trades. Their starting lineup looks amazing together. They are just waxing teams. Keep the continuity going. Don't sit down and let things get messed up and people getting more shots. It's weird.
I'm with you, but at the same time, we saw what it did for him. We saw what that break did for him. He, it was the knees and the back, and I think he just was run down going to 4 straight finals. He just wanted some rest.
Yeah.
And it worked. He was right. But I'm with you. Is this like a 1 or 2 game situation at the end of April when it doesn't really matter? Or is this hey, can I get a week or 2 right now? I'm with you, Tess. That's when it's an issue, that to me.
Well, the counterpoint is that LeBron is trying to accomplish something going to 5 straight NBA finals that hasn't been done since the 60s. Nobody in this league has done that. So it's understandable that he needs rest, combined with international tournaments. And you see the things that he's gone through in the postseason, the cramping, which is real. Please don't call him a cramp. It's an actual cramp. It's obviously a
Yeah,
physical.
but that happens like a game-to-game thing. That resting in March is not going to save him in June.
Well, then why is he sitting? I mean, of course it all plays into each other.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's like 100 degrees in the stadium.
You were
That's
there.
why he's
You were
cramping
there.
up in game one.
Well,
It's not
it
because
wasn't
he's
just a
tired.
one-time situation.
Yeah, understandable. He definitely has had some leg cramps, but that is just stuff that happens in game.
Just drink more water.
I don't
of
think.
guys,
I
yeah.
think the finals he was worn down in general. Forget the isolated cramp issue. He wasn't LeBron James, and he knows he's been there 4 times in a row that he's gonna have to relax, and it just speaks to how long this NBA season
Well,
is.
that's exactly. It's a conversation we've been having, and we're going to continue to have of whether or not the season is just too long, or at least needs to be spread out. I know we'll get into that.
The CBA talks. It's gonna be part of the CBA talks.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, keep the change, you filthy animal. Doc Rivers, home alone in the meme team next. Welcome back to the Starters. Every Thursday, the 4 of us scour the internet to bring you the meme team, a few of our favorite weird and wacky moments from the past 7 days in the association. Let's see what we have in store this week.
Corey Jefferson of the Nets must have not been watching our show yesterday. We had plenty of clock blunders. Then he commits one. 9 seconds left in the third. Gets the ball, chucks it
Let
up.
it rip.
Oh yeah, you had to beat the clock. Don't worry, you beat the clock. I guess there aren't enough clocks there in Miami's arena. Just look around.
I do that in video games all the time. Don't worry, Corey.
Flashback.
No big deal.
Earlier this year, Corey Jefferson had one of the worst shot attempts.
So it wasn't his
The
worst
league
3 then.
yeah.
Alexi Shved's okay with it, though. He thinks it's not a bad shot.
Cracking Alexis Shved. Ouch.
Murray Stoudemire the other night wearing a very interesting outfit. The post-game sort of media scrum there. Quick serious face showing off this. A lot of people jumped. This is the real meme team. Looks like the Sgt. Pepper's there. Michael Jackson.
Yeah. That's great.
Steve Noah though, my favorite. It's Captain Crunch. Spot on.
Tasty.
Yummy.
At number 3, Clippers Thunder Wednesday night. DeAndre Jordan gets called for a little push-off, loose ball foul. Yeah, questionable flop. Mitch McGarry, who knows? DeAndre doesn't like it, but Doc Rivers really doesn't like it. He goes all home alone on us. What? Great stuff. That's the same face I made when I realized Macaulay Culkin dated Mila Kunis for 8 years.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Surprising.
Doc later
peaked
defeated.
early.
Doc later defeated the Wet Bandits. Always good. At number 2 here, watch Mitch McGarry on the sidelines. All right, now look, shoot puns, not guns, but if you're gonna shoot guns, make it imaginary there. He also got into it with, I don't know what you call this. So it gets down real low.
Turn it up.
Turn it up, sort of a
KD
car
loves
wash. But he was really into it. I mean, if you do bench celebrations, you're gonna get on the meme team here with the Starters.
At number 1, a ball to the face of a fan. When I say to the face, I really mean to the face.
Oh, slow it down.
A direct hit. Hornets skip pass gets this lady directly in the glasses. She wasn't looking at her own cell phone, but a friend's cell phone. Oh, that's painful. Gerald Henderson involved that play, and this one earlier on in 2013 pegs this lady with a skip pass. Oh, and she just took a step and walked directly into
Yeah.
it. Both ladies were okay.
Yeah, that's what's important.
That's exactly
I really do like that Gerald Henderson is involved in both of those plays, though.
Keep your eyes on him at all
If you're an
times.
older woman at an NBA game and Gerald Henderson is playing, keep your
attention.
eye on the court at all costs.
We also had one other thing we wanted to show you. Wesley Matthews is out for the Blazers, but the Blazers still remembering wearing t-shirts, their first home game without Wesley Matthews. That say with Wes on them, and the return with his number. I like that.
Nice touch.
Robin Lopez felt lost without him in pregame intros. Wanted to bump him, but you're not there. I don't know what to do. I just don't get it.
Where's Wes?
Where is Wes? Well, we found him, Rolo. He's hanging out in his jersey and his shooting sleeves.
That's the best part.
He posted this to Instagram the day of his surgery. He's still watching his team play. Incredible.
Gotta stay warm.
Lee, do you sleep in shooting sleeves?
I'm going to start to.
Yeah, I
it
thought
looks
you were
very comfortable.
It actually sort of do. You're absolutely right. All right, unleash the unicorn. Let's get to the Starters Fantasy Minute presented by FanDuel, leader in one-day fantasy sports. It's a Will Blake. Looking at the fantasy lines of the night, our nominees, Andre Drummond, Chris Middleton, and Chris Paul. We got a couple Chris's here. Third nominee for Will Boy, Andre Drummond. 22 points against the Dubs, 11 to 25 shooting, 27 rebounds.
Most of those are her own misses, though.
Yeah, they were 18, I think, were offensive rebounds. 2 steals, 2 blocks, though, and only 3 turnovers. So that's good enough for the third Will Boy. Chris Middleton, who's been on fire for the Bucks, gets the second Will Boy. 30 points, 12 to 17 shooting, perfect at the line, 2 of 2. Hit 4 threes. He was also perfect from there. 3 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals, and only 1 turnover. A great game. A restricted free agent. This guy's going to make some money. And number 1, Worldboy, Chris Paul. Great game against the Thunder in a big win. 33 points, 11 of 19 shooting, 6 of 7 at the line. He hit 5 threes, 4 boards, 9 assists, 2 steals. Yes, he had 5 turnovers.
It's all right.
A little rare for Chris, but filled up the rest of the line.
It's all right. He's
You all
a
right
point
with that?
guard, yeah. He has a big line like
Who
that. You can have
cares
a
about turnovers in fantasy basketball anyway? Yeah, who cares? All right, gotta take a break. Usually 2 thumbs up from Lee, but we just got 1 big thumbs down.
Farting thumbs down.
When we come back, Harden, Curry, or Kyrie, who has the best handles in the league? Can't wait to debate this. Welcome back to the Starters. Time for a little debate here. This has been a heated conversation, arguments in the Starters office over the last couple days about who has the best handles in the league. We want to throw it at you guys and hear from you. So jump on Twitter, hashtag the Starters with your vote. Now, we've got 5 on the board here. These 5 names coming up a lot in our discussions. James Harden, Steph Curry, Jamal Crawford, Chris Paul, and Kyrie Irving. Is there
Sorry, Russ.
someone in particular? I mean, let's start with James Harden, actually, because he's the most unique guy, I think, on this list, because he's a little different with his handles.
I think people sleep on Harden's
Do you?
handles because he keeps it so low, people can never get it away from him. And part of the reason he shoots so many free throws is because he can go around literally anyone. In my mind, he's the best one-on-one player in the league. He gets to the rim with his dribble. He gets step backs with his dribble. He's amazing, and he just Biebers it all the time. He's always between the legs.
Yeah.
It's real tight.
And I guess I call him unique because he is one of the bigger guys on this list, too. A lot of them point guards. But what do you
I
do? You
feel
lean
the
towards
other
someone else?
guys are quicker with the ball.
Yeah,
That's
than-
for sure.
Than
Yeah.
James Harden. He's more of a stationary type dribbler.
He's the
I mean, he
Bieber.
gets around everybody. Yeah.
He's got a
We
step.
should have had Biebs on this list,
And
actually.
he's great with, if you want to call handling the ball in the air, obviously getting the foul calls, throwing out those arms. He's perfect at it. But he just kind of gets you leaning one way and he'll find a way to
Yep.
get around you. He's obviously fantastic. But I would go with other guys who are a little quicker with the ball, whether it be Curry
Sure.
or Kyrie.
Well, that's sort of what the debate is, though. What do you want? What are we classifying best handles?
Yeah,
Is it the
it's-
ball on a string? Is it the fastest, quick first step? Is it, crazy Jamal Crawford-like moves, the and one type moves? I mean, what is it to you, or is it a package of all of them?
Well, it's down to interpretation, but for me, I like Kyrie Irving because he's got the full bag of tricks. He's got the stutter step.
Yeah.
He can shake and bake all the time. He can cross it over with both hands. He's got the step back.
Hey,
but
cool
also-
lingo, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're sounding like a hip
I'm,
dude.
I'm one of the street kids these days.
Yeah.
But the other thing about Kyrie Irving is he can finish at the rim with either hand, and I think that gives him a slight advantage.
But that's what
But
does
that's
that
still
have
part
to
of-
do?
shooting, man.
No,
That's
but it's
shooting.
still part of your handle because he gets in there and he doesn't lose control. He's still got full control over the ball. Like
Oh, I mean,
some
he
of
is
these moves are
fast
just
as
crazy.
lightning.
when
Yeah.
he's going full speed, he's the quickest to be able to change direction.
He's got the spin moves and everything like that. He's a little bit smaller too than James Harden. That maybe plays into his
Oh, he's
advantage a little
absolutely.
bit.
Give us some more Kyrie Irving, B-roll. I just want to talk some more Kyrie Irving. Just because
leaning
when
towards Kyrie then?
I like Steph personally, actually. I vote Kyrie.
I vote
Kyrie because when he's going full speed, in the words of Steve Smith, he gets you leaning, then he goes skirt, and he goes the other way.
He's the bus driver.
He's just
Yeah.
perfect at doing that.
That stutter step as well catches so many defenders. They just don't know what to do. But all these guys, I mean, they can shake off their defenders
Yeah.
easily. Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry, they're all really, really good at that. I mean, Steph, I guess he's such a threat from outside. You have to play him a little bit tighter, and that plays into his advantage.
That's
He can get
true.
around you a little bit more.
I think Steph makes it look the easiest.
Yeah,
those
that's true, yeah.
Those types of guys always get my vote because you can't appreciate how great they are because they just make it look so smooth because it's effortless. It
Yeah.
really is with Steph Curry.
And the
other guys, it's more demonstrative, but for him, it's just like, okay.
I like that with Steph too. He's kind of always getting to the three. Like the other guys get to the rim quite a bit.
Yeah.
Jamal Crawford obviously isn't going to the rim, but with Steph, he's just looking for a three basically. Of course, we're showing you him shooting a layup right now, but you know what I'm
But
saying.
that's not part of his game, though. You're right. Like he tends to spend more time on the perimeter
for sure.
rather than going inside.
Hey, the mid-range game has improved.
yeah,
Come on.
it's beautiful.
Here's what it comes down. Like when you're talking around the back, speed too. It is Curry and Jamal Crawford at that, just wrapping around the back and still maintaining either going forward or just losing a guy completely. Because Crawford, I like Kyrie as a pick, but I love watching Jamal Crawford
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
just kill guys.
He embarrasses people the most. I
Oh,
would say.
absolutely.
It looks great because he's bigger as well. So,
Yeah.
so the ball's up way higher. It's more playground, way out to the left, way out to
Yes,
the right type
yes,
crossover.
that's exactly
He's never
it.
really slowed down throughout his career either. He's always
That's a
been doing
great
this.
point. This guy is old compared
Yeah.
to all these other guys.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
He is by far the oldest on this list.
Andy says he never practices,
Never.
and he still has a whole bunch more moves that someday maybe he'll break them out if he ever makes an all-star team. We're getting a little late in the career, though, so I say you got to start throwing him out in the games, which we saw recently.
Yeah.
He did the little stutter step between under his legs, even impossible to describe.
Yeah, so there's Crawford, and then of course I think you do have to make a case. He's not as sexy as the other guys with his dribbling, but Chris Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, he sort of reminds me a little bit. Lee, you could talk to this a little bit better. Isaiah Thomas a little bit, just in terms of obviously being great with the basketball,
Yeah.
the speed of that low crossover, and he just stops on a dime too.
He's absolutely the closest thing to Isaiah Thomas in the way he plays, but also because of the handles. He's amazing. And again, I think with Chris Paul, like I mentioned about the All-Star game, we kind of now have seen it so much, you kind of take it for granted what he does. But, I mean, he's got such amazing speed that's deceptive. Like,
There's no wasted energy with him.
no,
that's
he's
it.
very
Very
efficient.
functional.
So there you go. I mean, who do you guys pick? Jump on Twitter, hashtag the starters. Harden, Curry, Crawford, Paul Irving. Hey, look, you may have another suggestion. Remember when Darren Williams would have been on
Yeah.
this list?
Saw Kenny Smith in the office earlier. He said Tony Parker's the best at getting where he needs to go.
Oh,
really
but
good
there's the
point.
real best. Puts you to sleep. Bieber.
Oh, man.
Like James Harden out there.
Killing him.
Finish with a hat on, too.
Killing him with the crossover. Let us know, guys. One more break when we return. Pick and payoff results between Tass and I, and Lee's very solid play of the night. Do we have time
I
for
hope
it?
we get to it
Let's
today,
find
guys.
out.
Come on.
Let's make it a quick commercial. Back with the starters, a look at last night's pick and payoff results. Not a good night for me. I went 2-3. Tass won better, 3-2. Took the Blazers.
Took the lead.
Wow, Tass in the lead. I forgot what that looks like. That's wild. So Tass is up one game for the month of March. Tonight's picks, we agree on a lot of them. Pacers, Wizards, Rockets, Lakers. But Tass has the Spurs at home. I'll take the Cavs on the road. Been meaning to show you this for a while. On Friday's Drop podcast, Lee talked about being a spokesman, possibly for TJ Maxx, or at least getting followed by him. So we had all the Starters fans jumping on Twitter. Caleb there with a Photoshop. Conrad Burry with the TJ Maxx, I guess, ad with all those thumbs. That is a creepy,
very
photo. But the good news, Lee,
Yeah.
TJ Maxx tweeted you and they followed you.
They did.
They're
They
happy
did.
to hear
They
you're
were
a
one
loyal
step closer.
TJ Maxx shopper. That's why I've been introducing Lee as taking it to the max. That's his new hashtag. So there you go, Lee.
Yes.
Let's get to the very solid
Oh,
play there.
finally.
Wow.
I didn't think we were going to get to it again this week. Anyway, it's a beautiful play from the Milwaukee Bucks, and it's actually a game-sealing play. Beautiful handles. There's Zaza Pachulia over to Yanni for the finish, and that's what I call a very solid play.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow with the TV show and the Drop podcast. Check it out on iTunes.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, never bring your backpack into a theater. Just leave it in the car and save yourself the embarrassment. Doesn't matter if it has valuables in it.
Brace the night, people.